Welcome to tonight's session, session 4 of Beyond Forgotten Realms, where here on the MindTour Gaming stream we play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons as I lead a group of adventurers through the Forgotten Realms. Currently on Toril, within the realm of, well, almost Cormyr, as they get closer and closer to their final destination, Wayloon Prison within Cormyr. Still a few days travel ahead of them, but any insights from their characters, possibly what has happened along the way in their trek so far?
Alokian seems to be on the path of helping when he's passing by. Can't help but help. He helped a small boy named Job. That potion looks delicious, by the way.
Oh, I forgot. I had to push the button as well. There's a button. There we go. It's very
Whoa!
magical.
That looks like a greater healing potion.
Too bad for you guys.
But yeah, so Alokian seems to be helping along the way. He's helped a small boy named Job, and the people that he kind of associated with ended up bringing us some potions, which was very nice. A strange masked man. So that was cool, and then we met a small ogre. It was an ogre, right?
Yep.
And luckily for Kaz and I, we were able to communicate with him and avoid confrontation. And it turns out he was just missing his dad, so we helped him out. Belkin and I,
Bramblebutt.
Bartholomew Bramblebutt. That's right. So we ended up helping him out, and we helped him find his father. His father was very intimidating. I snitched out Belkin just to avoid any complications with this giant ogre. And we were rewarded with some armor. Well, a skeleton wearing armor, and I quickly gathered that and scurried where we went back to camp. Met up. Well, the prisoner disappeared. Was getting garroted. Would that be the right terminology?
Garrot, yeah.
And disappeared, only to. And then, as far as Alokian knew, all he could detect was that they went into the water. So then they went into the water, only to be greeted by pretty much nothing. I mean, it all ended as we came to. We came into this little empty cave area where we found some treasure. So, seems like the theme is helping. So far is working out, but we'll see how long that lasts. I'm sure my luck will run out. I might get in trouble for helping eventually.
All right. Thank you for that. Anyone else have anything they would wish to share from their character's point of view?
I know Corvin, after the last session, is trusting Kaz a little more after their little escapade into the water.
Okay. Got to grow.
That kind of came from last session.
Yeah. Got to grow through a small endeavor into a strange hole in the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this last session was the first time they've ever seen Kaz do something that wasn't selfish.
Yeah. All right. Belkin, anything to share from Belkin's point of view so far?
He really wants to spend that money that he got.
He wants to spend that money. It's burning a hole in his pouch, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Maybe go back to those ladies that were dancing out in the field.
If only.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and set the stage as a group of you emerge from the water. Exit the cave that goes into the large pond that Alokian, Belkin, Kaz, and Corvin all ascended into. The water drips from your form, still chills you slightly as you step out into the night air. Zan following suit behind you, lighting the area with the strange, ominous gray lantern. Who's currently guiding Liv Shana?
Corbin went by
Oh,
her. Okay.
Under
I was-
normal circumstances, Corvin would, but he's definitely feeling way weaker than he normally does.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Everyone can see Corvin's face is kind of his features are sunk in slightly. His skin's paler than usual. He's pale as normal, but right now you can see just the weight of his armor even's weighing on him. Well, not armor currently, but the things that he's carrying is weighing on him.
I'll step up and lead Livshana.
Okay. She too seems paler than usual and a lot weaker than normal. Cause if you ever had to manage her during her capture, she's giving no resistance as you push along out of the water back towards the caravan. There's still a bit of firelight from a campfire that Zan had started already, dancing along the cliffside and the caravan there. The pond's still surrounded by the trees there, and Zan quickly comes next to you, Kaz. Let's get her back in. And helps guide her to the caravan.
I'll glance at her as we're bringing her toward the caravan and say, "Oh, the last thing I would want is for you to get the wrong idea. You're only alive now because it is in our interest for you to be so. Now on with you."
Weakly, she nods as Zan's putting her in the back of the caravan and locking it again. What happened? What was that thing?
I'm not entirely certain. Thankfully, whatever it was,
It's dead.
it's gone now.
Corvin would immediately grab his pack, pull out his bedroll, and lay it down, and just
Okay.
lay down.
Yeah, you look exhausted. I would say we need to get going, but I'm not sure you can walk right now. Even he actually
Yes.
comes by to look at some of the wounds on you.
I think I'm all right after. I just need to sleep. And he'll kind of.
I've not seen anything like this before. As he's kind of pulling your shirt down even slightly around your collar to check where the creature actually pressed its hand into your body. There's a bit of like necrotic residue still underneath the skin, darkening it there. Similar to when you healed yourself, but slightly different.
let me just rest for a while.
We need to
I
keep
think
an
I'll
eye
be
on that,
alright.
though.
I think I'm all right. And I'll kind of push him away. And he'll kind of lay down for a while.
And
Is it-
I want to like take and kneel down next to Corvin and begin ritual casting detect magic.
Okay.
I want to get an understanding of whether or not there's any magic remnant remaining from that injury.
As you begin to do that, Zan steps over to the front of the caravan, hangs his ray lantern there on the front once again. You cast detect magic and focus. As you do, still sense a bit of magic emanating from that area on Corvin, and even kind of encompassing some of his body, especially his muscles. There is still a bit of, as you focus a little bit longer, you feel a faint resonating necromancy.
Do I get the sense at all that a night's rest would be beneficial or harmful?
Make an Arcana check.
That's a 25.
Okay. So you're not quite sure what the creature was, but you've heard about different creatures out there that sap the strength of people and take their life force for themselves. And that looks like what has happened here. Probably, if you had to guess, you've heard stories of certain things like this. There's ways to get rid of it through restoration magic, but probably also an extended period of time of rest would he would recover.
All right.
Especially if his wounds were healed.
Seems your intuition was correct, Corvin. Good night's rest would do you well.
That's what I'm feeling. He kind of doesn't even open up his eyes. But I will go ahead and start. I'll take a short rest just so I can roll hit dice,
Okay.
just in case we get attacked again.
Yep.
I want to be at full. But just tell me when that's done, and if we get attacked before that, I guess.
Yeah. One other thing to note about Liv Shauna, she still has that bit of darkness that's kind of all across her body and pooling into small wisps that slowly dissipate into ashy flakes and then to nothing. Alokian, you noticed that when the creature had her, that wasn't there. That wasn't there until you saw her again down below. Kaz, I'll give it to you, especially if you're going over with detect magic in the area. You probably looked around and you also see the same magic that Corvin has, but also a bit of stronger necromancy emanating from her.
Do I get the sense that it's just a counteracting measure, like a method of healing?
So it is necromancy, but you also sense a divination magic.
Oh. And she is still gagged now, right?
She's still gagged.
Okay.
The chains are in front of her. She does have some wounds from the creature that attacked her.
All right. I'll just keep an eye on her.
Yeah. Her neck is bruised heavily and burned where the cord was strangling her.
Alokian will go to her
Okay.
and gesture for her to come up to the cage, to the bars of the cage.
Alright. Slowly,
will
she
undo.
moves over to where you are as you beckon her. She seems very weak and doesn't seem like she wants to put up a fight or deal with anything currently.
I'll undo her gag.
Okay.
What was that creature?
I'm not sure.
Why did it target you?
Which one?
Any of them. You are clearly the target in this situation.
The shadow, I'm not sure why it attacked me. The other thing. When it appeared in the back of here, it grabbed me. Started saying how I'm to suffer like it. Till it'll begin to feast on my flesh. As I still live. Perhaps an opportunity. I don't know.
The magic that surrounds you now, what is it?
I don't know if there's of any magic that's surrounding me beyond whatever's going on. It happened after the creature took me.
This is not your doing?
No.
Very well. Do you need anything other than time to heal those wounds? Are you hungry, thirsty?
I'm just exhausted.
Very well. Please rest. I'll put the gag back on her.
Okay. And she shifts back. The chains drag against the wooden caravan floor. She leans back against the wooden wall and just puts her head up.
That would be it for a Lokian then. If we're setting up camp, I'll help.
Okay. Some of the camp was already set up by Zan as Corvin and Kaz decided to take a little bit of a swim. But other than that, setting up goes uneventful, and your short rest is taken.
Wait. I'm gonna roll some hit dice.
Go ahead.
Ooh, not good. I guess I'm rolling 2. Okay, better. Okay, I'm almost full.
All right. Even after the short rest, Corvin, your strength of body is still sapped. The damage that was done by the creature is gone, but the damage that was done to your strength is still lingering.
Okay. I guess I'll just go to bed. I'll basically say, all right, I'll kind of wake up, crack my back and stuff and be like, I think I'm still feeling pretty weak. I think I'll just continue to sleep. Wake me up if you need me.
Please rest, Corvin.
Indeed. Get some rest.
And he'll just lay back.
Okay. So Corvin begins to rest. Everyone can tell that Zan seems fairly stressed out with what had happened. He actually, instead of sitting in the front of the caravan, finds like a large log and drags it over to the backside of the caravan near the fire, but also where he can watch Livshana. Anyone that is paying attention, Livshana does fall asleep as well. And Zan brings out a pot and a familiar small sack and begins to brew some coffee. Doesn't look like he's planning to sleep tonight.
I'll stay up as well and take first watch.
Okay.
Before Olokian sets up his own little sleeping space, he'll go over to Kaz and he will bring along the armor that he got from the ogre, as well as the armor from the hidey hole.
Okay.
Would you be able to identify these items before we rest tonight?
Yes. Should be able to do so. Lay them out here. I will need about 20 minutes or so. I'll ritual cast identify on both.
Okay. Neither of the set of armors are magical. They look rather well crafted, but not magical. Anything else you wish to do? Something else to note about the armor sets. One of them, obviously, you guys gleaned that it was actually a set of full plate armor that was crafted for some probably higher level Purple Dragon Knight. The other set of armor with the skeletal body that's still inside of it it's got some rust and pit spots in it. It looks like it needs to be polished pretty well. The leather strapping on it and any ties are decayed and barely clinging together. So those would be needing to be replaced. But if you had probably a set of chainmail or something to put underneath these plate armor, you can probably use it as a set of full plate if you're able to do a little bit of repair work on it.
So, Olokian will place the purple dragon armor next to Corvin's tent.
Okay.
So that he'll see it when he wakes up. And I will spend whatever time I'm not sleeping tonight for my full rest, I will spend fixing up this other plate armor.
Okay.
The best I can.
Do you have any supplies or anything to do that with? Any extra rope that you want to use? Leather, maybe? You have a set of chainmail already?
I do have a set of chainmail already. I'd be willing to cannibalize a little bit.
All right.
I have an extra set of common clothes that I can tear up if need be.
Okay.
There's also vestments from the church that I can use if need be.
All right. What kind of skill would you like to use on trying to craft together a makeshift set of full plate armor?
Oh, my best guess would probably be performance, right?
Yep. I'll go with that. Unless you would like to do like an intelligence or even dexterity as you're trying to make small things.
Are you doing this in your tent or outside of your tent? Just curious if I'd noticed you doing it or not.
I'd be working by the campfire.
Okay. Then
try to get as much light as possible. Well, I
I'll
guess it
walk
doesn't matter
up
because I have
and,
dark vision.
ignite the fire a little bit more and.
Okay.
Would you like a hand with that?
The flames brighten the area.
Any help is appreciated. I admittedly have very little experience with metal work.
Sells as well, but I'm certain the two of our minds together could sort something out.
Well, here's to trying. He'll
Indeed.
start
You going to help him?
working away.
All right. So go ahead and make your performance roll or dexterity.
All be the same.
With advantage.
Oh, okay, well, 21 to start.
All right.
21 it is.
21 it is. It takes you probably a couple hours even with Kaz's help to craft something that's decent enough to strap the shoulder plates on, the chest piece over the chainmail, the leg guards, greaves, and even bracers. But from your 2 hours of work, you now have a masterwork set of full plate armor.
Awesome.
You
then.
polish it very well. Whoever wore this armor before, it was more, it's less flashy than it is a useful piece of armor. They didn't have any insignia on it. The plates were well crafted as far as the way it feels, the heft of it. Probably made for an adventurer, not someone that is of high station, but someone that actually will utilize it in battle.
Oh, would you look at that shine? Won't you be the prettiest furball get the ball, eh?
I reckon it will come in handy for sure.
It serve you well, friend.
And after that, just keep the armor off, but go to bed.
Okay. Kaz, you're staying up.
Yep, I'll take first watch.
Xandas say before you go to bed, look at that. Where did you find those pieces?
Well, the ogre's father handed me a corpse, a skeleton with the armor.
He
on
looks
it.
at the bones that you've removed from the armor. Oh. Well, I guess it's going to better use than it was for him now.
Yes, I think it might have some better use with the living. We'll see, though. And we've also found some purple knight gear and in the cave.
He motions to
shield-
what you dropped over to Corvin's tent. That there.
Precisely, and the shield that you see me carrying. It's fine craftsmanship. Some of the best I've ever seen.
What is your plan to do with it?
Put it to use for us.
We will have to cross the border. There will be knights there.
Will the armor prove to be troublesome then?
I'm not sure. I've never encountered a situation like this with them.
Well, perhaps as we approach them, we
Maybe we stash it.
stash it. Yes. Better to avoid trouble.
Less eyes on us, as we already have a few.
Unwanted attention is the last thing we want.
Yes.
Right now, we've gotten plenty of it thus far.
All right.
Please, try to get some rest tonight.
One of you might have to drive tomorrow.
Gladly.
And he sips his coffee that's steaming from his mug. And have a good night.
Good night.
All right. Anyone else want to do anything that evening throughout the night?
Here by the campfire, I will kneel down on both knees place my blade out, begin to use the water from my water skin to clean off the blade.
Okay.
And sharpen using a whetstone.
All right.
And spend about good 20 minutes or so doing so.
Okay. Go ahead and just roll me a dexterity skill check there.
6.
Okay. You ceremoniously sharpen your blade, focus on the extension of your arcane power, and relax from the night's events. Belkin, do you wish to do anything that night? Or just rest for the evening?
Just rest for the evening.
All right. Where's Tomaway?
Currently in the Feywild.
Okay.
I haven't brought her back yet.
Gotcha. As a few hours pass, Kaz, are you staying awake or are you going into trance?
I'll take first watch afterwards. I'll
Okay.
wake up Belkin.
Go ahead and roll a perception check during your watch.
$22.
You're staying out of your trance, but still just relaxing and focusing on your arcane magic to recover those energies for the next day. Focusing on your blade, your arcane focus within your skull. And then a sound perks your ear. Scream? Maybe? Multiple? Maybe a shriek. Something's far away. Not too close. But with your elven ears, you can tell if you're sitting at the campfire, it's that way. Coming from the other side of the road and beyond in the forest there somewhere.
Can I determine if it's staying stationary, moving toward, or moving away? Like getting louder or getting quieter?
You hear one and then maybe two others. It didn't sound like it was getting closer.
Okay. I will ignore it for the time being.
Okay. Nothing.
At the end of my watch, I'll tap Belkin.
Belkin.
Belkin. You're taking the next watch.
Oh, alright. I hope my famous halfling dark vision will come in handy.
Don't you worry about that. And I'll snap my fingers and have Tomaway appear.
Poof.
She will assist you.
Alright.
Just,
She bows.
Come on, bird.
Slightly.
make sure we don't die, huh?
Is Zan still awake?
Zan is sitting over by the fire, on the log, and he nods to you. Looks like he has another cup of coffee just freshly poured into his mug.
I'll go over and join him.
Okay. Let you to join me this evening, Belkin.
Yeah, I guess it's my turn for watch, I guess.
Maybe you can take one or two from time to time.
Alright. But don't blame me if anything comes out of the dark and gets us.
Don't blame me either. Just make sure the prisoner doesn't get away this time.
When was the last time somebody checked in on her?
He looks right behind him, motioning towards the caravan and the cage. She's still asleep.
Is the tarp draped over, or
So it's covered all except on the side where the fire is, and that's where he's sitting, kind of just right in front of that, leaning up against the back towards the caravan.
so we have a clear view of the
Yeah, you can
prison?
see her. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're sure she hasn't moved in a while, right? You sure she's not plotting something?
She's rolled about a little bit.
Gotta watch her every move. Can't trust that one.
I agree. If you wish to check on her, you can.
Yep. I'll go over.
All right. You go over and then kind of lift yourself up onto the spokes on the wheel to look inside. She is sleeping, kind of curled up, almost fetal position. Her arms close to her chest like this. You still see the shadows inside the caravan where the cage is are still kind of pooling towards her, going up across her body, darkening her form, her skin paler than usual, and then finally little wisps of shadow pool off of her and then flake to ash, then nothing. Whatever effect that is still, it's still there, clinging to her.
I'll step a little bit into the wagon.
Okay.
Take out my dagger.
Okay.
And I place the point up against her throat.
Okay. So she's laying there, fetal position. So you push your hand into the cage, put the blade towards her throat. You hear Zan stand up behind you. She doesn't move. She doesn't wake from her sleep.
Then I'll remember how much money I'm getting for
Yeah.
this job, and I'll put it away.
Yeah, Zan puts his hand on your shoulder. We want her alive.
We want more money. There's a difference.
Yes. No telling what'll happen to her when she's back in that prison.
Agreed.
More money. I know it's difficult sometimes when we have things like this. People that thrive on causing problems for others, bringing evil into this world. Don't get me wrong. From time to time, I think about taking my blade to her neck as well. But this is our work. This is our livelihood. And this one is going to get us rich.
Yeah, I just had to think about what would be the more preferable outcome. That's all.
Yes. Come, have a drink with me. And
You
he
got it, buddy.
gets an extra mug and pours you a cup of coffee. You want anything stronger in it?
No, thank you, buddy.
All right. And he sits back down. Watches the fire crackle before you. And The rest, unless you wish to do anything else, the rest of your watch goes uneventful. A few hours before dawn, who do you wake? Or if anyone?
Nah, I'll stay awake.
You'll stay awake? Okay.
Yeah, I'll stay awake.
And the sun finally begins to rise in the east, to the right of the camp. Piercing through the trees, no other events that evening transpire. Zan looks over to you. Thank you for doing your part. Let's wake the others. See how Corvin is.
Yeah, I'll go check on Corbin.
Alright. How do you wake him?
I'll shake his shoulder. Wakey, wakey, sunshine. How you feeling?
This seems a little backwards than normal. He'll kind of set up.
Corvin, your
Um,
muscles feel stiff, but the strength is returning to them. After your long rest, whatever damage or life force the creature took from you is finally recovered.
Perfect. I stand up and I just kind of grab Belkin by the shoulders and just lift him up in front of me.
Okay.
I'm feeling much better. And then I'll kind of set him down. Not roughly, but calmly.
Yeah.
And then I'll walk over and get some coffee.
Okay. Zan hands you a mug full of coffee as he's beginning to pick things up, but keeping the coffee out in case anybody wants any. And doing his normal morning ritual of getting the horses ready and preparing for the continued journey.
Zan, you think we should explore the rest of that cave? Could be more treasure.
I ever told you that I did some adventuring on myself?
Oh, yeah?
Yes. It's sort of how I came to be a bounty hunter. Working for Cormier. There were some cultists, I don't remember what, there's always some kind of cultists out there, right? They were taking people in to this fake temple of Mistra and using them for some sort of sacrifice. Eventually they were supposed to become more powerful through magic, and apparently they were leading them off into the vast swamp in Cormier and sacrificing them to some sort of magic. But how that came to be, I was with a few people I met in a tavern that heard of rumor of treasure. Me being younger, not fairly far away from home, I figured, what do I have to lose? But what do I have to gain? Needless to say, we've stumbled upon these ruins in the swamp that were sinking into the ground. We actually had to go inside. Some of it was filled with water, and for some reason, that place down there gave me flashbacks. But needless to say, we found some of these cultists there, brought them back alive, and got paid pretty well. Some of those very cultists, I believe, are still in the Wayloon prison. I hope, anyway. But they were trafficking these people through the swamps into some place beyond the swamp for whatever ritual they were doing. A lot of people died in the temple, but those that had a nature for magic were taken off, never to be seen again. They didn't get much information, or I didn't get much information. debriefed on. But they said, do you want a license? It seems like you're adept at bringing people back alive. I didn't know there was money to be had in bringing people back alive, so here I am. I took my share of the reward and started the Grey Lantern Huntsman.
Corvin kind of sits there and like kind of listening, and he's like, after a little bit of silence, he's like,
So
you think we should go down there then?
you have 2 hours before the caravan moves on.
Oh, I can't imagine. If it's much deeper, I don't know if we want to go that much deeper. I want to get my money too.
And if you don't come back in 2 hours, you know I'm gonna leave you here.
I don't believe that for a second. Kaz, I assume you're awake at this point.
Yeah, post-trance, I'll walk over, hearing the tail end. Tale as old as time. I swore, treading those waters any further. Perhaps a mental note, and another time.
You guys are no fun.
Unless... And I'll eyeball Zan. Unless you, in your sleep-deprived state, are able to watch the prisoner alone for the next 2 hours.
I'll lock myself in there with her if I have to. She's not getting away again.
I can't imagine it runs that much deeper. I mean, it may, but can't imagine it does.
Would you believe that there is, given what we've found, anything further in, given there seemed to be a bevy of coin situated in one space?
There may be.
You really suspect there may be anything further?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm curious. By the way, did you take a look at the statue you found of the griffin?
I believe I did.
I don't think you ever identified it.
No, I probably
Or
didn't.
I think we had a
Do
blue
we need a
potion.
refresher of what was found below?
Right. Yes, I do remember hearing Griffin statue and calling dibs.
There's also a blue.
from
There's
that.
also I think a healing potion, and then a blue liquid, bright electric blue liquid.
I'll take out the remaining items from the bag of holding,
Okay.
place them out, and
Yep.
ritual cast identify on each for the
All
next 30 minutes.
Yep, that's fine. So, the potion, the bluish color, the electric blue colored potion is a potion of heroism.
Interesting.
There's 3 pieces of lapis. One was detected as magical, which was the figurine of a griffin. That is a spell gem. It has the spell protection from evil and good. The other thing that was there, you obviously have the gold and whatnot, but there was also a scroll case.
Right.
The scroll case itself does not detect as magic,
And there's
but it's
no
been
scroll
not
inside.
open. It has not been opened yet.
Okay. I will check for traps, both arcane and otherwise.
All right, go ahead and roll a perception check.
20.
All right. You examine the scroll case for a few minutes, checking to make sure there's no arcane markings, any strange traps that may be triggered once it's open. You can tell that it kind of turns and the end of it pulls off, as there's a seal on the end as well. This looks like a watertight scroll case, as it's been sitting in the water connected to that bloated human. There's no traps.
Okay. I will open up the scroll case.
All right. Inside, you find a rolled up piece of parchment, and we'll share with you what is there, and you can read it to your friends if you wish.
All right.
You shared it with me.
I think I shared it with everyone.
Oh, okay.
That way everyone has it.
Ah, okay, perfect.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
By the royal decree of King Foril Obarskiri the First, on this day of 25th of Oktar, in year of the Ageless One, 1479, a service is rendered to Vorhog, henceforth referred to as Baron of High Castle, to be awarded governance over High Castle and all supporting lands and territories. This includes dominion over all waters and woods, mines and minerals, stock and stone, as well as any part and parcel located therein. In consideration and in fealty to his lordship, the great and noble Baron of High Castle shall offer yearly tribute in the way of taxes, representative at court, resources for the common defense, and bannermen, should the need arise. By his lordship's divine right, to rule, you are expected to honor all coin and customs throughout the kingdom and render aid in times of war. This title further grants the aforementioned with the power to enact the king's justice and to levy any punishments they deem fitting in accordance with the law. Their immutable right to rule has been made absolute and beyond reproach. Any question to that rule will carry with it the penalty of treason by order of the king. Witnessed and signed by Selmileg, the king's royal vier, on this day by royal edict. King Forel. Well then.
That was quite boring.
Is indeed right.
What's the current year that we're in?
Let me see. I believe it was 1480.
Okay, so
what I
probably a
have.
year old then.
This deed may very well come in handy.
Perhaps. Okay. Well,
Do I
do we
know
want-
who this Vorhog is? Have I heard of him at all?
You can roll a history check if you want.
9.
You're not quite sure. Obviously you took Purple Dragon Knight armor and shield from him. He probably was some sort of Purple Dragon Knight at one time, or when he was living at least. And higher of station, obviously. But whether or not this individual was Servor or not, you're not sure.
Is King Pharrell still in power?
Is the what? Is the oh yes,
king?
that king is still in power. Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the deed, put it back in the case, and toss it to Corvin.
No.
If you're wearing the armor, perhaps you are Sir Vorhog returned, eh?
Okay, all right. I better read through that one more time. I don't know if I was listening well enough.
You own quite a lot, Sir Hog.
The only problem is I feel like they're gonna remember if he had dark gray skin or not, and white eyes.
They
But-
needn't see your face, merely the deed.
Okay. All right. Well, we can try it. He'll set it by the armor.
Okay.
Are we going? Or are we not? You guys. I won't go on my own because that seems reckless.
If you want somebody to come with you, Corbin, if you think there's treasure down there, then I'll join you.
He'll look at Kaz one more time. What do you think?
I would be fibbing to state that I am all adventured out.
All right, let's go. We'll be back, and I just want to go at least to that next room and see what's in there, and then we'll be back quickly. And then I'm gonna give my greatsword to Kaz. Tell him, here, put that in your fancy bag
Put it
thing.
in the bag, yeah.
Yeah, for me,
Okay.
and I will.
And
I
as
will-
you put the tip of the blade inside, it just disappears and vanishes within the extra dimensional space.
That is amazing. And Corbin will go get in the water.
All right. Who's going along with Corvin back into the water? Alokian? No?
Vulcan, as we're getting closer to the water and I'm doffing my my more formal attire, I tie my hair back similar to how I did the previous day. You may or may not have noticed then, but you'll definitely notice now. My left eye has a scar and a gash across it that's wider underneath. And there is a golden sphere in place of where the eye should be. And then I'll close that eye and dive into the water.
Okay. Corvin leading the way. Kaz right behind him, and Belkin, you're taking up the rear. Anyone guiding Belkin through the dark waters and cavern below?
As he comes down, I will get a rock, and I'll hand it to him, and I'll cast light on it, and have him hold it, and then I will.
There you go. That
Continues.
works.
Do you get like a really big rock?
No,
Okay.
maybe as a joke at first. I like big one. You know, I'm like, oh,
If you want to have light, you have to be on the bottom.
Oh man.
All right. So, Belkin, you now have a stone that glows with divine light, lighting the way. And you head back down into the underwater tunnels that go into that space once again where the creature brought Liv Shana. And this time, especially with the light coming from Belkin, the body's still laying there. Looks like he's bled out a few hours ago, probably. The bulbous form of the human that you stripped the armor from, his flesh kind of cracking and oozing as whatever's decaying on the inside of him begins to just kind of pour out and ooze onto the wet ground beside him. The stench of death, decay wafting over the group of you as you take your breath again, as it takes probably about a minute to get to this point. And on the other side, you see the tunnel continues down into the water, back into the water.
okay, keep going.
All right.
Right,
And-
everybody? Let's go.
And the group of you continue on into the next tunnel that leads down. This one's slightly wider than the last. The first set of tunnels was pretty thin, hard to get through for you medium-sized creatures, but you get along just fine. And after a winding path, probably about 30 seconds, 45 seconds of descending, it finally lifts up again into another space that opens up similar to the last. You see what looks like roots hanging from the ceiling. You're not quite sure if they're old or dead or connected to anything at this point. But you get into a low space this time where your head breaks the water. You have maybe a foot of space between the water and your shoulders as you take your breath again. This space, you get the smell of wet dirt, not decay or anything like that, but inside this small chamber, you do see signs of debris floating in the water, as far as old pieces of wood, but also debris underneath the water. You see glass bottles and jars, different broken pieces of wood that sunk down as it's been in the water for an extended period of time. It's full of debris in this room and trash. But on the other side, you can see this tunnel continues even further beyond this smaller chamber.
Okay, so we have our heads out of water, correct?
You have your head out of the water, just like underneath the chin. Well, depending if you're a halfling or a medium-sized creature. Belkin, you have to swim to actually stay on the surface.
Do we continue?
Well,
I'm gonna maybe take a quick look at the debris and see if we see anything useful.
Make a perception check.
So he'll kind of dip down in.
Mhm.
Just give a quick look. $10.
You don't find anything useful in this space beyond what I've described so far.
Okay, you'll take a deep breath, come up, get a deep breath, and start going down the tunnel again.
All right. You do still feel the flow of water come pushing in your direction, but here, like I said before, the water's slowly getting murky and slightly darker the further you go down this direction. Almost like an inky film is actually in the water as well. But you can continue down the tunnel a ways before you have to duck underwater once again as the tunnel shoots down a few feet and then back up again, where you can surface once again, but it's still just beneath the chin as you're taking in breath. The tunnel winds a minute, two, until finally you hear a drip. You're not quite sure. You hear something kind of echoing off the water and down the tunnel walls up ahead. And it goes beyond your dark vision at this point. This tunnel is, yeah. And it's still only about 5 or 6 feet wide.
Goodness, it's going a lot longer than I expected it to.
The water's flowing a little bit stronger here against you.
Against us, okay. All right. Keep pushing.
All right. And a few moments later, you have to duck down again as the tunnel shoots down, and then it splits to the right and to the left. To the left, you feel the water pushing against you from that direction. And to the right, you feel the water going in that direction. So the water splits at this Y in your direction and another direction. Make a perception check as you're pushing your way through here.
7.
Everyone else that's moving along can as well if they wish.
I prefer you to. Ah, much better.
Ooh, natural 20 for a 24.
All right.
17.
Belkin, you hear what sounds like splashing that's echoing through the water toward you, and you try to focus, but it's reverberating off the walls in these tunnels too much for you to tell which direction it's coming from, because you can tell that it's coming from the direction of the flow that's going down the other way, like something splashing through water, but the sound is echoing down through the volume of water toward you.
And it just sounds like dripping or splashing.
This doesn't sound like dripping. This sounds like something splashing around in water. But obviously there has to be some surface there for it to be splashing in.
It doesn't sound like a waterfall or anything. Like
It doesn't sound like a waterfall. It's more like something sloshing through water.
Does not appear that we are alone down here.
You're currently underwater, so not sure if you
Oh.
can speak underwater.
Can
I
we-
will signal in with my hands in Thieves' Cant to Belkin
Okay.
to let him know we're not alone down here.
All right.
Corbin will kind of look to the group, not hearing anything. He's gonna like look and point at which tunnel.
Okay.
Kind of a questioning look.
Can I tell which side
So-
it's coming from?
It's to the right. So it splits in a Y going in your direction and also to the right. And kind of to the left ahead is where the flow is coming from. And it's just the water is also getting darker here. So your vision underneath the water here is probably maybe only like 20, 25 feet at this point, even with your dark vision.
I'll gesture to the right, and tap Corbin, and just do this.
Okay.
Okay. I think Corbin would have understood that just as well as Cordell did. So not
Sure.
great.
Sure.
He saw the around the neck, so he actually I brought the long sword
Mhm.
too, that he got the right kind of rusted one. He'll pull that out, maybe thinking there's something, and he's gonna head to the right.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do it.
The group of you go down another 30 seconds or so as you're feeling your breath getting to beyond about the halfway point. And then finally, you can see this tunnel rise. As it does, Corvin, as you're in the front, it rises to an opening about 10 feet wide that goes up and breaks to what looks like a surface in a space up above. You can see, especially with your dark vision looking through the murky water, at this point 10 feet above you, there's a chamber there, small, probably 10 by 10 chamber that has algae covered stone walls, brick maybe.
Okay.
You're not quite sure. The details are kind of muffled and muddled from this vantage point.
Okay. He's gonna slowly swim up.
Okay. Does everyone else go up with Corvin?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You all break the surface slowly as you enter this small chamber. It smells wet, like wet earth that's been stale. You see algae covering, slime covering the chamber all around you. The water's pouring out of this hole into what looks like a doorway on the right side. Whatever room you're in, you look around, there was a floor here at one time, but it's gone. This pool of water is coming out of the ground into this small chamber, like it's broken through the floor, perhaps. And the water's just pouring through a open doorway. There's no door there, and into the next space. There's probably about a foot or two of water in this room, as far as where the floor would be, and into the next room. Kaz, the splashing is beyond. You don't see it from where you currently are, but you can hear it deeper in, beyond this doorway, as the splashing's echoing in through the doorway from the other room.
There is splashing in the water. It lies ahead.
I think we continue.
You're...
Again.
Alright, well, since we're
Are the
here-
group of you trying to go quietly?
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Usually.
usually. All right, so go ahead and make me stealth checks. If you want to go any faster than half speed, it's going to be a disadvantage because of the water.
Happy it is.
Natural 20 for a 25.
25.
17.
Natural
man.
20 for
Two
26.
nat 20s. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
Those are
goodness.
So sneaky.
All right. So, without heavy plate armor on or anything restricting your movement, the group of you, like stealthy assassins, sneak in to the next space. As you approach... Second.
We are some stealthy swimmers.
Yes, you are.
Healthy boys.
Belkin's basically almost swimming at this point. As the water's, a foot and a half, 2 feet high. As you pull yourself up onto the floor, the floors here are cobblestoned. The walls, large bricks. This place is old. You're not... Go ahead, anyone that has any ranks in history, go ahead and roll it.
Natural fucking
Oh
20
my gosh.
for a 25.
Get them out now.
But that means in battle you're gonna box like crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Kaz, you're not sure where you are as far as what this place is, but you've heard in the past, especially during the spell plagues, that places had vanished, or maybe completely destroyed, sent to other planes of existence. This was even before that. Whatever this place is probably hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 years old in its architecture. Probably human-made, as far as the way it's not like dwarven-made or elven-made. Human in design, very... At one time, it was probably an elegant place beneath the ground, but with a slight hint like darkness in its design. As you're pushing some of the algae aside, it was meant to give that ominous feel, whatever this place once was. And if you had to guess where you're currently leaving out of, it's probably with some sort of closet. But the next chamber, the doorway opens up into another chamber that has a few old crates either floating in the water or broken to pieces on the floor, a barrel in the corner. Kaz, you hear the splashing. It's not in this room, but the next, as the group of you are looking past the doorway. This room's about 20 feet wide, 15 feet long, and then there's a door on the other side that's also open. You can see remnants of an old wooden door, crumpled and decayed beneath the water, just in pieces.
Belkin,
Yes.
check the room up
You
ahead.
hear
would you?
a slight, like, low growl, clicking sound. A chitter.
Perhaps there's a puppy in need of rescue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're so full of shit. Anyway.
All right. Keep your wits about you, eh?
Belkin, do you move past the group and into the next space?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hopefully
follow
keep him
closely behind.
hidden.
How-
In
Yep.
stealth.
How deep is the water currently?
It's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet,
Okay.
depending on
I
where
will-
you stand.
I will go ahead.
It's below my mouth. That's all
Yes.
I need.
I will go ahead and stop Kaz and reach into the bag and pull out my great sword.
Okay.
Put the long sword away because I definitely don't want.
Good. That will likely be needed. I do
Yes.
hope this was worth it.
We will find out. Again, I did not expect it to go this deep.
That sound kind of clicks and chitters in the
Big
next space
clickers.
again. And then you hear splash, splash, splash as something is moving around that room.
There. Can I do a perception check?
Sure.
Oh, I got. Oh, I'm still holding the freaking the rock light.
The light is
The-
spilling into the room as well.
Oh.
You
Oh,
throw it,
wait.
you place it down.
Just yeet it across the room.
I will end it too
Okay.
as he puts it down.
All right. And back
Alright,
into darkness you go, Belkin.
Alright, that's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. So,
Everything's
Belkin,
fine.
you can hear something.
Alright. Can I discern how close it is, or?
If you had a guess, I'll give it to you with your last perception check. It's probably maybe 30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 40 feet. It's moving around and not in the room ahead of you, but beyond that one.
Okay.
Can I tell how many feet?
Can you tell how many feet away?
Yeah, maybe more. Like, is it more than 120 feet?
No, it's the next room is probably about 20 feet from you guys. It's 15 feet to the next doorway. That's kind of catty corner from the doorway that you're in. You can kind of actually see into that room, especially with your dark vision. There's another crate that's crumpled in the water. You see the ripples of the water moving across the surface as there's something in there, but you don't. It's not in your sight yet.
That's all right. So, in the next room, how wide is the opening leading into that room?
5 feet. It's a 5-foot doorway.
Perfect. I'm gonna gesture that Corvin and Belkin stand on either side of that opening.
How do
Ready
you
or
how
on.
do you gesture to Belkin? Obviously, Corvin can see you, but
Yeah. How far ahead is Belkin from me now?
Belkin, did you move forward into the space?
Yeah. 15 feet.
All right.
So
So
a
yep.
half my feet, probably 10 feet.
yeah, so you move other side, Belkin, of the room, you stumbling over some things that are under the water, but finally your hand touches the cold, wet stone of the next room. Do you try to find the doorway?
Yeah, I can't really see kind of, so I'll probably start feeling for any kind of
Okay.
door or open.
Okay. You see Belkin move forward, touch the wall, and shift to the left toward this where the sound is coming from, Belkin. And his hand is reaching around, and you touch the doorway. So you can feel that the doorway is just to your left, Belkin.
Belkin. Belkin.
Not wanting to go in alone, I'll stop there.
Okay. Belkin stops.
Belkin. Turn.
I do a 360.
Okay.
Good boy. I throw him a treat. No.
All right.
And I look at him all confused.
Your voice, you try to throw your voice as silently as you can into the next space, 15 feet across the room towards where Belkin is. Splash, splash, and it stops.
Belkin, run! And I'm going to cast Firebolt wherever the sound is.
Okay.
At that moment, can I cast light on my greatsword?
Sure.
And kind of at the same time.
Let's
So Belkin can see.
let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Hooray!
Okay. We should have brought a Loki in.
He's having more fun.
He's having all the fun.
He's drinking all of the coffee right now.
Nobody woke him up. He's still sleeping.
Oh, I thought he was. They woke him up.
What?
I don't think
You
so.
weren't woken up?
That's
I don't think
fantastic.
so.
I love it.
Oh goodness. All right.
We're doing a map or are we just rolling?
I will move you to the map depending on what happens here.
Okay. Initiative
Actually, you know what?
14.
I probably should just move you to the map. 'Cause-
All right. Whatever it is, we're gonna F it up.
Oh,
Here's
boy.
hoping.
I'm gonna hit it with
Oh,
that
it's an
firebolt. and
adult
it's gonna
red
instantly
dragon.
explode because of something.
All right. Yep.
Huh.
It sounds like a clicker from The Last of Us. I'm not that worried.
A clicker from the last of us.
No, Corvin's
Yeah,
armor
killed
class
tons of
is
those.
horrible. Right now.
As Corvin, you light up the room that you're in. Kaz casts a firebolt into the next room. Light the flames streak across and into that space. You can see a half of the creature currently from where it's currently standing. A dark grayish black skinned humanoid that has a bit of scales across different places of its body. Its ears are large and sort of bulbous and also pointed. It has some wiry hair that's kind of hanging off the back of its head. Most of its body is uncovered except for a pair of dark, what looks like maybe hide bracers on its arms, and some remnants of clothing or cloth wrapped around its waist. It has a heavy pickaxe. Looks like it's made out of some sort of bone and jagged, tied together. It does click and screech, but it's currently surprised.
Nice.
Add it to the initiative.
Feeling good, Rock. Fantastic.
So, Belkin, the room is lit. You can see what you can see.
Alright. Well, I can't see the monster, so I'm gonna move here. Now I can see him. Fantastic. Alright.
Its maw is wide as it opens up, a sharp-toothed screech again and clicks as its voice echoes and reverberates across the walls. Where its eyes are when it turns, there's nothing but indentions and a what looks like skin just covering the holes.
So pretty. I will try to attack it with my short bow.
All right, make your attack.
I bet you won't see this coming. And let's see. Oh, do I get advantage because of the surprise?
It is surprise, so you will have advantage.
Fantastic. 21
A 21 definitely hits.
for 6 damage.
6.
6. And then I will move on into the corner. And for
you're using your
bonus action,
you're using your
Oh,
short
sorry.
bow.
yes.
All right. Yep. Your arrow pierces its stomach, damaging the creature. And what else do you do?
As a bonus action, I'll use a hide action.
All right. Roll your stealth.
Got it. 10.
All right.
Be off.
You can tell that it's not watching you. It turns its head and follows you with its ears, and then sniffs the air in your direction. Not quite sure.
Typical clicker. Told you.
All right. Kaz.
I'm gonna step forward slowly. Thing is gorgeous. 10, yeah. 5, 10. I'm gonna draw my blade, bonus action. Blade song. Perfect. And I'm going to rush him and attack with my Wakizashi blade.
Okay. Roll your attack.
That is a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Six slashing damage.
All right. Kaz rushes forward through the water, splashing and sloshing through the 1.5 foot water that's encompassing this entire space. Kaz, as you do rush in, you do see the water also pushing past this room through another doorway to your right. You slash across the creature's stomach. Its innards just pool on the ground. A inky black blood just spraying across you as well as the creature does fall, letting out a final shriek as it falls to the ground. And then you hear the sound, an echoed sound, a returned call of more screeches and clicks. And then, especially with your elven ears, splashing of water coming from multiple directions beyond.
It isn't over. Keep the the blade song up as my blade continues to
Yep.
whip through the air.
All right. Corvin, you can take your action for this turn, and I'm going to add some other things to the initiative at this point.
Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna move 10, 20, 25. I'll move right there. And
All
I'm
right.
going to hold my action to attack any of these creatures that walk through this doorway.
You got it. And for those of you that have now seen this creature, you can roll a knowledge, nature, or arcana to try to identify what this may be.
15.
All right.
Ooh, 1.
Nice.
Always very appropriate. Or-
All of your rolls, Corvin, are just bang on.
They really do. They roll almost perfectly how they're supposed to. So I'll take that, I guess. Works for me.
Just one moment. Adding some things to the initiative. So, you hear the return calls as the creature dies in its final death throes, and multiple screeches in return echoing down the hallways and the space beyond where you currently are. Corvin, you can hear multiple of them coming from the left of where this hall continues on, and also beyond across this hallway into another room, it looks like, maybe, and from that direction somewhere. Those sound more muffled than the ones that are coming from the left of this hallway.
Okay.
And then
It
you
sounds
hear,
like a lot of them.
yes.
Oh dear. I know. I can see the initiative, but I know Corvin doesn't see the initiative. But if I can
And
hear that many, oh
Corvin,
dear.
this creature rushes to the doorway there. You'll get your readied action
Okay.
as it
Kill
becomes to rush through the doorway. You bring down your greatsword towards its body.
17.
You strike it. Roll your damage. 10 points
10
of damage. Your blade crushes through its rib cage, its upper shoulder, and into its body. Some of its innards and blood just kind of spraying across the floor, but somehow the creature, even with its grievous wound, it's still alive, still standing there, and it swings its strange bone pickaxe at you.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Because of the blow, you knocked it off balance. It swings wide, and I don't think a 7 hits your AC.
It's not.
Its bone club just strikes the doorway instead of you. All right. And that is going to be the end of his turn. Ben, your turn.
Seeing Corvin trying to finish off this creature, I'm gonna fire a arrow at it, hopefully to finish her off.
All right.
20
A 20 hits.
for 12 damage.
All right. It does begins to let out a screech as it's striking at Corvin. Missing him, Corvin ducking low, parrying with his great sword, and your arrow just goes through its temple and through its skull, and it falls to the ground with a splat.
And then I'm gonna move up behind Corbin.
Alright.
Probably got that. And I'm gonna hide behind him.
All right. Make your stealth check.
There. 22.
All right. Corvin, down the hallway to the left, you hear more splashing as another creature comes charging away. It gets into the room, and it has to move. So it's just going to move there, charging forward wildly, swinging its arms, its club. It doesn't seem like it's a well-trained combatant. Just more like a wild creature, if anything. That one. And the group of you can hear in the room across the hallway a creature rushing into space, but that's as far as it's going to get this turn. Kaz, it's now your turn. Wherever you are, apparently you've woken a nest of some sort of creature. What was your Arcana check? A 15? Oh, yeah.
15,
You know these creatures to be Grimlocks. Creatures that live underneath the ground. Sometimes mostly in the Underdark, but sometimes they come closer to the surface. You know that they are completely blind. They use smell and hearing in order to see. So they actually have a bit of blind sense, blind sight. They are intelligent creatures and intelligent hunters when they're guided well enough. And most of them try to find something to worship. Especially when they're in larger groups, they usually have something that they see as that has some sort of strength, or they believe to be some sort of god in a physical manifestation.
That is good to know. As my blade continues to spin around, whipping,
Yep.
I will stare the creature in the face and say, "Whatever god you worship won't save you now." And I will slash once with the Wakizashi blade.
Okay.
That is a 24 to hit
That hits.
for 9 damage.
All right. As it is rushing forward into the room toward you, you say those words and then take your blade, piercing its stomach and ribcage. You hit some vital points in its body, but it is still alive.
And then I will come around with the saya and crack it across the neck.
Okay.
That is a... Oof, maybe not. 7.
It's rushing forward too crazily as it takes your arm and grabs it, pulling you closer as it's trying to bite and claw at you. A few words do come from its maw. Not sure if you understand it, or anyone in this space understands it. What languages do you guys speak?
Common Elvish.
Common and
Halfling common.
celestial.
All right, none of you understand what it's saying, but it does communicate in return. All right.
That'll be it for my turn.
That's it. And from the left, you hear another creature splashing forward and pushing into the room. Doesn't quite to attack this turn, but is now in that space.
Jeez, guys, you've made mistakes.
And another one following suit. This one stays just the other side of the doorway, waiting for an opportunity to rush in, looking as if it's holding action. A distant screech echoing down across the hall beyond that room. Right. This one will move forward into the space. Falcon, do you have a melee attack? A melee weapon?
Yes, I do.
You do. Because Corbin and Belkin, you both did a attack of opportunity as it moves into this room. It has to move past you in order to attack. Or get into the room to attack.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'll swing at that bad boy. 24.
24 hits.
Do I have to drop my bow to do it or no?
Oh, you actually have to have a melee weapon at the ready to take the reaction.
yeah,
Attack of
I do.
opportunity. All right.
I do.
So just you, Corvin.
12 slashing.
It rushes into the room and you cleave it in two. Its body
Oh.
just splashing into the water next to Kaz.
Said nope.
Nope.
Corvin, your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna attack this one that's right in front of me. This guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna swing at him. 21.
21 hits.
So 17 slashing damage. That's
And-
max damage.
Yes. And his head falls from his body.
Damn, dude. Making some work.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna hold there. I'm thinking about casting a spell, but he's gonna wait. So he will stand his ground where he's at.
Okay. More echoed screams and screeches and words that none of you understand echoing down the halls as you hear maybe it commands, you're not quite sure, but very direct words.
Corvin will say before his turn's up, he can. Should we flee?
I think we're doing fine.
That's all.
All right. The one that is in the room currently facing off with Belkin and Kaz and Corvin. Oh, it's not his turn. Hold on. That one steps in the doorway, Corvin, to face off with you. 22 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Right. You take 7 points of damage as the club pierces. Well, the club and pick pierces. You're not currently wearing armor, are you?
I'm not.
Yeah. Through your clothing, and it just rips and tears, the jagged bones ripping through your flesh. And that is his turn. Belkin,
Yes.
it is now your turn.
As a bonus action, I would take a disengage action
Okay.
and move home to here, and then fire an arrow at the guy in front of Kaz.
Go for it.
I will. 15
15 hits.
for 13 damage.
13 damage. Another arrow pierces the skull of the creature. As this seems like a fairly vulnerable place, shooting it through where its would-be eye is, instead just the skin that's covering whatever crevice or hole that's there. It falls to the ground.
Gotcha. And that will be my turn.
All right. More splashes echoing down across the hall, and into that room, another creature appears into line of sight. That's its turn. Kaz, your turn.
All right. The one in front of me, does it appear damaged at all?
In the doorway, it does not appear to be damaged at all yet.
Okay. 5, 10. And first swipe, Wakasashi. That is a 11 to hit.
11 misses as it brings its bone club up and parries it.
Right. And then a 13 to hit with the Saya.
13 does hit. It tries to parry again, but is unable to.
5 bludgeoning damage.
And you whack it across its face. You hear a wet thwack. Doing good a bit of damage as the black blood begins to pour from a wound across its skull. Anything else, Kaz?
I just cleaned this blade. That's it.
All right. Okay. You hear another voice echoing down from the room beyond the hallway. And that's it there. Corvin, it's now your turn.
Corvin.
There seems to be some sort of communication going on now between these creatures.
Corvin, after slaughtering 2 this last time, kind of covered himself in blood and his blade in blood. He's kind of smiling and breathing heavy. And he says, "Come, end up like the rest of your brothers." And then he's going to swing down at this one in the doorway.
Okay.
13.
13 hits.
15 slashing.
He just crumples from the weight of your greatsword.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be Corvin's turn. And he'll like yell that down the hallway.
Okay.
And I know they probably don't know that he's murdered 3 of them already, but
Belkin, is now your turn.
Alright, let's see here. I'll move here, and so you can't see anything. 20. I'll hold the attack action.
Okay.
Just in case something comes in line of sight.
All right. You don't see the one across the room. Oh no, because of Corvin's light. Yep. All right. So you hold your action, and you hear the sounds of splashing across the way, Belkin. In the room across from you, it's in the darkness, so you can't quite see it. But you can take your shot in that space if you want, or in that direction. I'll give it to you at disadvantage.
Nah, I'll save it until I get a full.
Okay. Creature begins to move. You hear the splashing moving away from the group of you. Kaz.
You fools. You think you can escape. And I'm going to move forward
Down the hall to the left, you see the hall go down probably about 25 feet or so and open up into a large circular dome chamber. There's also another doorway, or maybe it's a doorway. It looks like the wall partially crumpled in, a 5-foot wall hole there that goes into another room as well. And when you step into the next space, you see another doorway to your right that leads into what looks like a cavern of some sort. You see the walls of this. Maybe there was a hallway here at one time, but the stone is crumpled and fallen long ago.
I'll move as far as here, and then I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on the first one here.
All right. That one looks like it's just moving back into that space.
DC 15 Wisdom.
15. Wisdom save. It fails.
Takes 3 necrotic damage.
All right. You see it kind of hold its head as the necrotic energies pulse across in its mind and in its brain. You see black blood begin to ooze from its ears.
I say in Elven the equivalent of Fey bells ring. Are you listening?
All right. So you hear the splashing from behind the creatures that are there as another one charges forward toward you. Cause to there from around the corner. Make his attack. It's saying something crazily, very intently, but you can't quite understand as it's very pointed at you. 18 to hit your AC.
Shield.
All right. Your arcane energy, you release it, blocking the strike from the bone pick. Sparks. You see the bone just kind of splintering and shattering on one tip of the pickaxe that it has. All right. Another one charging around the corner as you're in this small space. It will make an attack against you as well. And misses. Your shield energy once again just splintering its pickaxe. Corvin.
Okay, Corvin will move.
Sound combatter just beyond.
Okay. Did I see which way is it coming from?
Straight into the room and beyond that.
Okay. So
across the hall.
25, 30. I can't quite get to him, fortunately. I will get right there. As I'm walking up, I will pull out of my bag and uncork a healing potion and chug it, and then smash it against the wall. And as I'm carrying my great sword, kind of smiling at these creatures. And I imagine probably, if Kaz or anybody looked, there'd probably be a slight necrotic energy kind of raising off of Corvin's skin.
All right.
As he's smiling at. As I get there, I will hold an action to attack.
Sounds good. Go ahead and roll your healing for your potion.
6.
Sorry, Lokian. Snoozing back at the camp.
Probably
No,
still asleep.
you said no like you didn't want to go. You didn't say no like you were still asleep.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I thought Lokian didn't want to go.
It's okay.
We can have him catch up if you wish.
No, it's fine. I'm totally cool with this situation.
I can have him coming out the hole right now.
20 for you, is that what you're thinking?
What? So if you were asleep, what would a Lokian do once he woke up? Would he chase after us?
Zan's like, they went in that hole again.
if Logan did wake up, he'd good morning. Where 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 where's everyone?
They decided to go adventuring deeper into that tunnel.
Into the hole, of course.
They just
Well-
left a few moments ago if you wish to catch up to them.
Maybe coffee first.
Very good. He pours you a cup of coffee.
Beautiful.
The coffee's done. Okay, whole water. No armor. It's going to hinder me. Sounds like a bad idea. And then he'll just kind of slowly walk into the water.
Okay. All right. So
Armor on.
I will put a Loki in on the board as well then.
No armor. No
No
armor.
armor.
Yeah, it would be hard to swim in plate mail.
It'd be very hard.
Belkin, you hear the sounds of splashing of water coming from the room that you arrive through. Loki, go ahead and roll initiative.
Sure. Nice.
That's,
Four.
perfect.
It's higher than Corvin's.
Alokin, you do hear the sounds of yells, screeches, clicking, and even your companions yelling at something further into these spaces ahead of you.
Oh. Jeez. Okay. It's too early for this. He'll start walking towards where he hears them.
All right.
Oh. Bilkin.
Who's that?
You hear a voice just apparate as something sloshing in the water behind you, Belkin approaching you, and then you hear Alokin's voice. Oh, Belkin. All right. This next creature looks like it picked up a stone and tries to throw it at Kaz. 14 to hit AC, Kaz?
Nope.
The stone, you just quickly sidestep the stone, it clacking across the stone wall behind you. Alright, Belkin, is now your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna go after Corvin, since he's my only source of light.
Yep.
Alright, see. Oh, so we can see. That was 15. 20. 25. Hey, I can see something now. Alright, I will shoot an arrow at the guy in front of Kaz.
Alright.
19
And 19
For-
hits.
for 9 damage.
9 points of damage. You precisely shoot right past your companions, Corvin and Kaz, right between the both of you. An arrow just goes flying, striking the creature right in its upper rib cage and chest. 9 damage.
Guys, watch out! They're coming up behind us too. He said my name.
All right. Anything else, Belkin, or is that the end of your turn?
That would be the end of my turn.
The next guy follows suit. Move to this point as we seem to be at a chokehold, and he picks up a rock and throws it at Kaz. Kaz, they don't seem very proficient with rocks, as he almost
Clearly.
strikes his friend with it instead. Well, his companion. It is now your turn, Kaz.
All right.
Group of them piling up before you, trying to push their way in to attack you.
I'm going to look back at Corvin and say, Pincer time. And I'm going to bonus action, Misty Step,
Okay,
right there.
sounds good.
And I'm going to strike at the one in the back with my Wakizashi.
It screeches as it hears you just splash in the water behind it as you appear. Quickly turns around and tries to block with its pickaxe, but unfortunately, it's unable to, and you strike it.
Disappear. And as I look back, Corvin, you can see as my hair is still tied back, the arcane focus where my eye would normally be is continuously glowing as I disappear and you see a whoosh, slash. And then I appear behind the creature and it takes 4 slashing.
Got it.
You like appear, and then all of a sudden the slash appears on
Yep.
him behind you.
Exactly what
The most
happens.
anime thing possible.
Full weep. Full weep, guy. Full weep.
This one here quickly turns around, now hearing you behind them. It looks, from what you can gather, roll an insight check.
Sure.
You can as well, Corvin.
19.
All right.
6.
You don't notice anything in the
I don't
midst of
care. I
combat.
just
You
wanna
don't care. You're
murder
just
them.
wading into battle. Kaz, it seems like now that you're on the other side of them, it almost seems frantic
Okay.
and overprotective as it charges forward toward you there. 18 to hit.
Shield.
Seems like they're average. And once again, its pick just splinters against your magical shield. The one that you stabbed earlier, though wounded, also seems frantic and moves past you to try to block that small passageway there, and it will strike at you. You still have your shield up, so it misses its attack. Alokian.
So, as Belkin runs off from Alokian, he's like,
In fear.
where are you going?
Calling out, they're coming up from behind us too. It knows my name.
Yeah, Alokian, with your passive perception, you do hear that as well.
Creature, what the hell is going on? And I will move to here. That's my 30 feet. Belkin, why are you running?
Didn't you hear them? They're coming from your direction.
Now Lokian's kind of scared. What? Yeah, that's my whole turn. It's just moving my full movement speed.
Yep.
Kind of catching up. Still pretty unaware of the situation.
Sounds great. Corbin.
Okay. Corvin will slowly walk around the corner, kind of holding his blade, smiling. There's nowhere to run. And I will, I'll attack this one in the middle to get that good old flanking bonus.
Go for it.
21.
Definitely hits.
12 slashing.
and another one crumples the weight of your greatsword. You cleave
That's
its arm from its, as it's raising its club, its pick towards Kaz. You cleave its arm off, then a leg, and then the top of its head falls to the ground as well.
As the blood kind of splatters on his face again, he kind of looks to this one right next to him and smiles, holding the blade, preparing.
It does turn around and try to strike you as you approach.
Will.
It will.
Probably.
Yeah. 22.
Definitely. Even if
And
I had plate mail, which makes me feel better.
you take, let's see, that's 7 point of bludgeoning and 2 points of piercing as it strikes you with its spike bone club.
Okay.
And it will move past of your threatened range. Go ahead and make an attack of opportunity.
15.
15 hits,
15 slashing.
and he's unable to get away. As he does turn to try to rush past you and Kaz, you get sprayed with a bit of gore and blood as Corvin just cleaves him from the back. You hear the spine just snap and break, and he just crumples forward in two. Belkin. Is now your turn.
I must follow the light. Yeah. Oh man,
That's
Kaz,
me.
you are
That's me.
sandwiched.
The light.
The light?
I will attack the guy north of
Okay.
Kaz. See here. $24 for 16 damage.
24 definitely hits. And you said 16?
I did.
And with an arrow to the chest, hitting the heart of the creature, falls to the ground.
And that'll be my turn.
Kaz.
Finish it, guys.
I will turn, look behind me, and begin spinning, almost like I'm dancing.
Okay.
And then the blade come down. First strike. That is a 19 to hit.
All right.
For 8 slashing.
You do indeed strike the creature in your dance and whirl of blade.
And the Saya right behind for 6 bludgeoning.
You cut across its chest, and then you're coming from the opposite side, smashing it across its jaw as it tries to let out one last screech as pain washes over its face in a wet thwack as its jaw just hangs loose. It falls to the ground. The echoes of the last screech of that creature finally slowly dies. You just hear the water kind of rolling and rushing into this room, this space that you're in. But the sounds of the creatures die, as there's currently no other threat ailing you.
Well done, all. That was indeed invigorating. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there is something back here that they were very intent on protecting.
We shall. And Corvin kind of smiles, kind of wiping some of the blood from his face.
Okay.
Best he can.
Was there is there actual crates on like in the area, or is
Um,
that just on the map?
no, yep, there are some crates that look like they might be whole. Some of them look fairly old. Some of them, none of them look new, like brand new or like they've just been brought in. But you do see a few crates here and there, barrels. Some of them already crushed and crumpled from either decay or maybe damage. But there are some things around in the area.
Yeah, I would like to investigate.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check as Belkin begins to try to pick through some of the rubble and remains in this area.
Where's my character sheet?
I'll pick up like a piece of wood and cast light on it again
Okay.
and
Same
pick it up like
body.
a sword and hand it to him.
He gives you a makeshift wet torch
Nice.
as divine light glows from the torch itself. Or the
Before
wood.
Belkin gets too far, Alokian comes up behind. Belkin, why do you keep running from me?
It
What-
wasn't you.
What are you guys doing down here?
Oh, Loki, and nice of you to show up.
Well, nobody woke me up. I woke up and Zan was making coffee and I had some. Then I followed you down here.
Well, we
Belkin just ran away saying there was something behind me. There's nothing behind me.
They must have ran. The cowards.
Well, they saw me, of course.
of course.
Belkin, you begin to open up some of these crates.
Oh yeah, 15
Yep.
for investigation.
You begin to open
Sorry.
up some of these crates. You find like they come apart very easily. A lot of the wood even just crumples in your hand on some of them. A few of them you find a few bundles of arrows, but the arrow shafts themselves are long, rot and decayed. But you find a total of 100 arrowheads.
Oh jeez.
If you take the arrowheads themselves, otherwise the shafts are broken. But
The shaft broken.
Yep.
Okay.
You'll open crates and barrels that have not been touched for what probably seems like years and years. Many of these things, whatever was in the inside, have been lost to time and decay and rot. But you do also find in one of the crates 7 large glass bottles that have a dark reddish color liquid inside. If there was a label on any of them, they're long gone.
7 of them.
Yes.
All right.
You can. The glass is fairly well made and sort of shaped in a interesting way. Kaz, go ahead and roll a knowledge history check.
Sure.
As Belkin's pulling out a bunch of this stuff in some of these rooms.
23.
Those look like some sort of old elven glass wine bottles.
Interesting. This could be a.
You're not sure the
Very
make or where it may have come from, but they definitely look old.
I'm sure somebody's willing to buy him.
Oh, I'm certainly sure of that. Been aging for who knows how long.
But most of the other things that you find in these spaces are lost to time. Nothing else of use.
Working, good buddy. I saw you tinker on the armor that we found during our travels. If you could find sticks or twigs that might make a good arrow shaft, can you fashion me additional arrows?
Well, I might be able to find the resources necessary, but crafting the arrows, maybe not so much. I have no experience in such things, but I could always give it a shot. I
Yeah.
can't promise
well,
they'll work well.
You're out in the wilderness more than I am.
I like to
might-
eat the greens, yes.
That's exactly what I meant.
Did you want me to get you some food?
No, thank you. Like,
Just the arrows.
just the wait, sticks. About yay big.
You need help finding sticks?
Yes. that would seem more your expertise. My
need help.
expertise is everything else.
You need help identifying sticks.
Finding things. Finding them.
Okay.
If
Sure,
I'm understanding
I'd-
correctly, you wish the Furbolg to find you a stick.
About 100 of them.
100 sticks.
Would you
and
not consider just chopping down a tree?
Not when I can get him to do it.
I would be glad to do this, especially for a friend, of course, and I'll give you a discount on my fee. It'll only be 4 gold.
That sounds reasonable, but I think I don't think I
100
have it on
sticks?
me. I don't know.
For 4 gold? Well, you let me know when you have the 4 gold, and I'll be happy to help you find your 100 sticks.
Okay. But if I had to find those sticks by myself, I think I would really suffer in that endeavor.
It is only through great suffering do we grow.
Yes, halflings are known for their growth.
Precisely.
Never a dull moment.
So,
Now then,
the group of you stand in one of these rooms where Belkin is digging through remains. You have the crumpled cavernous halls to your right, and back in the hall to your left, that dome-shaped room.
right.
Or back the way you came.
So there's nothing further ahead from where we were?
Yes, the cavern does continue. It looks like it went to the left and opened up a bit, and you saw what looked like maybe another hallway that looked like it had crumpled at one time, and a bunch of rubble was moved aside and revealed that there's another space there, and then the cavern itself kind of curved off to the right.
I, for one, am quite interested in why they appeared so frantic, trying to stop me from moving further ahead. There is an interesting room back from whence we came, to what I can only assume is the west.
Well, I assume we've taken care of most of them at this point. I can't imagine there are any that wouldn't come to that ruckus. Or perhaps they're hiding. Either way, I don't think much of a threat.
What would you like to pursue first?
I think we see what they were trying to guard. Alokian, if you maybe could, any chance I could get one of the heals of yours?
Just woke up and already I'm getting asked of so many things. Sure, yes, come here. What, where are you hurt?
You'd probably see a large gash in his chest.
Yes, right there. But
Yes, yeah.
A man of such incredible talents will always have tasks.
Perfect.
So it seems. And I'll put my hand out, just kind of slowly wave it back and forth over the wound.
The divine energies entering your body, Corman. The wound slowly mending itself, leaving behind a reddish pink scar still across your chest.
Thank you.
Anybody else? And how did you even get that wound? I'm confused. I came down, Belkin was running
Alokian,
away.
When you were walking in this direction, maybe you didn't notice it because as you were following Belkin, but there were a number of fresh corpses, cut in two, arms flayed from their bodies, heads missing, arrows and skulls, and even beyond it, down the hall in this cavern area, you see more of them.
Were you guys fighting without me down here?
No, not at all. They ran toward us, you see, and all of them seem to trip and fall and crumble to their own demise.
Oh,
Are you trying to
Okay.
deceive him, or are you just being
Yes.
sarcastic? Go ahead and roll a deception check. If you want to roll an insight, you can as well.
11. Yeah.
He's lying through his teeth.
Well.
If I'm honest, they really didn't put up much of a fight. A few good hits in, but
Well, that scar on your chest will remind you of how much of a fight they did not put up.
well,
I look over my person. They did not put up much of a fight.
And perhaps you should try wearing your armor once in a while.
it's a little hard to swim in your armor.
No,
I
obviously I feel the same way.
In my bag, and you could have donned it once we came out of the water.
This is true, but do you know how long it takes to don plate mail? We would have to sit here for 30 minutes while we're waiting to see what that creature was. It didn't seem
Before we
very...
sit here too much longer, what are we doing down here exactly? Zan's ready to go, and I was ready to go before you informed me that you decided to take another detour down here. Is there a purpose? Or...
Just exploring. How long has it been since we left?
30 minutes.
No, it's only been 30 minutes.
Yeah, combat isn't that long.
I think we'll head back soon. Try to explore as much as we can. May not be able to get to all of it, though.
Look around you, Alokian. This place is incredibly old.
Mm.
Ancient. Pre-spell plague.
Yes,
This
smells
space,
like it.
whatever it was, could hold something of interest. Eh? Let's go find out what that might be. And I'll begin walking in the direction of where they were trying to keep me from.
Okay. You walk to where that hallway had collapsed in this cavern area. The cavern also had walls that looked like it was collapsed as well. A lot of the rubble's moved aside. But there's still an intact hall up ahead. You move into that hallway. It's only 5 feet wide and 10 feet long. And it opens up into another circular chamber that has a circular centerpiece, center wall as well, that looks like it's about 5 or 15 feet in diameter. And then that chamber itself is probably about 30 feet in diameter. So there's about a 10-foot hallway that goes around this wall on either both right and left.
Do I
Inside.
notice anything along the walls? Anything of interest, markings of note?
There's no markings or anything like that. There's the same stone that and designs that were in the last rooms are in this one as well. You do see some rubble on the floors here, but this place looks a little cleaner, as if someone moved things from this space and out. There's still water kind of moving about this area, but nothing is flowing too much. Most of the flow went to the right and then back down that left hallway that y'all left behind.
Onward we go.
Lead the way.
So the hall here goes around the circular wall. Do you go right or left?
Both directions look identical.
They look identical.
Right.
You begin to follow the wall around the right, and it seems like it does a complete circle. As you get about halfway, you see what looks like dim light glowing from something inside this circular wall that you're going around. That's just on the wall ahead of you. Like it's shining from the center space into the circular wall that you're following.
Hmm.
And as you continue, you see the source of the light. There's another doorway, but this doorway is blocked by thick iron bars that go from ceiling to floor. Here, you see a number of markings along the arch of this doorway, and inside, there's a stairwell, set of stairs that go down about 5 feet into this center chamber that the wall goes around. Inside is full of water, so it goes down below the water another 5 feet, so about 7 feet of water in this next circular chamber. In that chamber, in the center room, you see what looks like a statue of a man that's covered in a lot of algae and slime as well, but his sword raised up above his head and shield in front of him as if prepared for battle. And on the other side of him, you see a pale green scaled humanoid that has a number of floating in the water that's slightly writhing snakes all across, encompassing its head. Its face is very long and pointed, as you do see small fangs coming down the bottom lip, as well as its eyes currently closed, its body completely nude as it stands there in front of this statue. And the glow is actually coming from a number of arcane lines and markings around this creature, as the female form of whatever scaly reptilian snake haired creature just kind of floats in the water. Its feet.
It's all fucked up. Oh there. Do you have a name?
It's completely underwater, by the way.
Oh, okay.
The water's above its head, a few feet, and its form just
So
it's
all
kind of just
down.
its form is just kind of floating in the water, but its feet is touching the ground and the arcane energy that's emanating from the floor.
Corbin,
Yes.
thoughts?
As you
Well-
all come up behind Kaz, you see this scene. Also, glittering all across the floor around it is hundreds of coins, gold goblets, necklace, treasure, all on the floor around it.
It does appear that you are right. There was more for the taking.
This is the first time you've seen anything that was beyond what Belkin found in that one crate of value.
Oh dear.
Whatever that is, may not be friendly.
I would kind of assume that. Just being where we're at.
Fighting underwater
Snake
is not
twitches.
exactly my forte.
Its head begins to follow whoever's at the doorway as its eyes open. Not the creature, but the snake's head. And another opens.
Do we know what this creature is?
You can roll a knowledge, nature, or arcana.
Man,
Maybe even history.
history. I think history makes more
Natural
sense.
20 for a
Oh,
20.
thank goodness. This might save our lives. 14.
Cause you've heard rumors of a creature called a Medusa before in your past. You know of their powers to turn people to stone. You know of how ancient some of these beings can be because of their immortality. Of their vanity as well as in life. Part of the reason why how a Medusa is made is because of a curse of their vanity had caused them to become such a creature. This indeed looks like one of those creatures, except its scales are very pale compared to others that you've read and studied about. And just being in this space, this thing feels ancient. And there's something off about it that it just seems different than some of the Medusas you've read about in your past.
Stronger?
You're not sure if it's stronger. It just seems like maybe this is some kind of offshoot or variant that no one's written about because it's not as common. You're not quite sure. But you can tell that it is definitely different than the other ones that you've studied before, especially because I'll give it to you as well. It looks like, with that roll, it looks like this thing's been trapped here by arcane means.
Ah, hence the arcane glow. Okay.
Yes. Whatever sigils are beneath it, you can tell that this is some sort of arcane entrapment. I'll even give you, because of your role and you're standing before the doorway is actually arcane locked. If the lock is released, the iron bars will raise to open the door.
So I have good news and bad news. The good news is a creature in there is trapped. Arcane. Bad news. Getting in there will be incredibly difficult. And should we get in there, that thing is some form of unrecorded ancient Medusa. The ability to turn us to stone. Though there may be a great fortitude of treasure to be found, to be had, to be liberated.
And remember, there is a man-sized humanoid, armored humanoid, inside there that is also stone, standing before her. Blade raised.
We would not be the first to make such an attempt, and I'll gesture toward the statue.
Seems that way.
My personal suggestion: we leave.
Okay.
We are in no state or capability to handle such a creature.
All
Cause
right.
roll a will save.
Oh,
Fuck.
oh, frick. Guys, there's a stone in front of me. No.
11.
You feel a prick in the back of your mind as something begins to enter it, and you're unable to keep it out of your head as you hear a voice as you're standing there speaking to the others, explaining the snake heads are trained on you. Release me.
Although, I mean, it could go wrong if we let the thing free, right?
You're not compelled to
Okay,
release it.
that's-
You just
Um,
hear that
okay.
as it connected to your mind.
Gotcha. In that case, then, I'll state
We should leave.
No,
Yes, we should leave.
release me.
And in my mind, I'll state to what end?
Whatever it.
How do we know that you won't kill us? Same as you did him.
My eyes stay closed as you peered at me. My eyes open as he raised the sword.
How would I free you?
The magic is around me, binds me.
I will have to return. Do not have the ability now. But I will return.
Then I shall wait for your return.
Alright, we need to get out of here and get out of here swiftly.
Okay. Should we look the other way?
No ideas, Belkin.
Hmm?
I understand that is a lot of treasure.
Uh,
Perhaps someday we can return.
I honestly, I trust your judgment. I don't
Day
know.
if we enter, we shall not leave.
I don't know what that thing is, and if you do, then I believe you. I'm no fool. Maybe a little greedy, but no fool.
I, for one, don't wish to be stone.
Being turned to stone would suck.
Sorry, I wanted to make a stoned joke somewhere there with Lokian, but I'll leave it be.
Being turned to stone is quite a bit different than being stoned from all that greenery.
Let's check the other area quickly. We need to
Yes.
get back to the caravan.
Agreed.
Concur.
You walk away from whatever prison this creature is currently residing in. Kaz, you still feel that scratch as you take your steps. But you leave the chamber and walk back into the cavern. So to the right is where the group of you came from. To the left, the caverns continue on. The water's still flowing in that left direction. The left cavern kind of winds out of your view. Which direction do you wish to go?
Perhaps you send your owl that way?
Very well. Tomorrow I will.
And I'll send her down there's a path left and right? Left is
To the
where we came
left,
from.
you haven't gone yet. To the right is where
So
you
I
came
will
from.
send Tomoy down to the left,
Okay.
150 feet.
All right. What is her commands?
I will actually look through her eyes.
Okay. She has dark vision?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. The path kind of winds around for about 20 feet or so, curves to the left and then back to the right, and there's a T section there, both to the right and left. To the left, you can see as you stop and hover there, circle slightly around the water. The cavern here, the caves, are about 10 feet wide, 15 feet tall. But to the left, there's another stone wall that leads into a large hallway. You see the doorway open. And to the right, there's more caves that kind of curves back right out of your sight.
Snap and have her come back.
Okay. So that's about 15 feet down the cave.
This place does appear to extend for quite a ways. Multiple paths, directions. I'm not entirely certain we have the time to explore it all.
Make a perception check also when you're at that T.
Sure. Come on. You can do it. There we go. That is 22.
Okay. To the right, there's nothing really of note, but you can begin to see small stalactites and stalagmites forming in that direction. To the left, just beyond that hallway, because you can see down that hallway, it goes fairly far. 30 feet, there's a stairwell kind of leading up, a set of stairs leading up about 10 feet, and you see out of the water, and you see fairly fresh blood coming down the stairs. Like, not old blood, it's still red and crimson in color. Though I'm not sure if you can see color in with your dark vision, but you do see blood pooling down the stairs and a goblinoid body at the top of the stairs, his head crushed in and laying there. And then beyond that, the hallway continues beyond your dark vision.
There is the body of a goblinoid, freshly slain. Just ahead. We could investigate, prepare ourselves for another fight.
Freshly slain?
Yes, does appear to be. The blood that is dripping, not coagulated, still running.
Perhaps
Quite fresh.
the creatures we fought? But it seems strange that
Perhaps it had its skull caved in.
Belkin, Alokian, what do you think?
I'm just along for the ride. Honestly, I'd rather just get back to the caravan, but you guys seem persistent on poking around out here in the darkness where Belkin can't see.
You can see he has.
Are
his
you not
makeshift-
having fun, Alokian?
You can't.
I
tell
haven't had a moment of fun since I woke up.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I thought for certain you would find the prospect of Belkin asking you to find a stick for him at least momentarily amusing.
There's no sticks down here.
This
Very
is
sure.
true. Ancient architecture and many things that wish to kill us.
Yes, tons of fun.
I'll grin slightly. Quite. Well then, Corvin, I'll leave the
Yeah.
decision to you.
Ugh.
With that, my friends, I do need to get to bed before I pass the hell out. But,
Okay.
Hey, man. No worries.
We
Let's
understand.
Make great choices.
Let's return to the
Yeah.
to the camp. If that is the case, then I think that's probably for best. We need to get a move on.
So, what do you do?
I guess we're gonna head back, unless you
Yeah,
guys.
I really
unless
don't
you
want to
object.
piss off our leader here.
Yes, I agree. So, yep, we'll head back. Sadly, no loot to show for it. Loot
There's
Yeah.
there's plenty.
Oh, we did. There's plenty. Oh, you're tempting me. We did find the bottles of wine. How many bottles of wine did we find?
7.
7. We did find those. Those may be worth some money. So, nope. We'll leave.
All right. Who carries the bottles of wine? Where's it
Probably the bag of holding.
go? Bag of holding
Yeah.
carries it.
Yep.
That's fine.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Sounds
sure
good.
he put them in there.
I mean, Kaz is still there, so
Yes.
Yeah.
feel free to utilize him however you see fit.
I will. He's gonna be the one to find me all them sticks.
I'll put my yeah. We'll send him to go see the goblin. We're gonna go back. He's gonna go see the goblin.
He's gonna go see the goblin.
No, yeah.
Sorry, Andrew.
Sorry,
All right.
Yeah.
killing your character.
We send the owl to go see the goblin. Now, the group of you head back the way you came, back into the structure of whatever underground building this is, or lair, and from the caverns into that room once again. You get back to the hallway, and to the right now, down the hall, about 40 feet, it opens up into a circular chamber, the round domed ceiling. It goes beyond your dark vision inside the chamber, so you can see about 20 feet into the chamber. You see water flowing into that room, a number of broken boxes and barrels in there as well. But it goes beyond what your sight can see. Well, actually, Alokian, you see the back side of the wall, as this chamber is probably about 60 feet in diameter as well. And on the back side of the wall, all the way at the end, you see up on a pedestal a large armored sculpture carrying a spear, a helmet, a wispy kind of cloak wrapping around this individual. It's humanoid, has 2 arms and legs, standing proud on the inside of the chamber. The sculpture itself is probably about 10 feet, 12 feet tall. Fairly well made. And
all the things it was wearing was made of stone, right?
Yes,
not
it's
like
all stone.
literally wearing. Yeah, okay.
It's all stone. And it's fairly well made, as well as it's full of algae, and it looks like it matches the structure here, like it was built in this place, not created by a Medusa or anything. Go ahead and roll a knowledge history if you have it.
20.
Okay. For one, this does look like some sort of giant creature that's depicted here in a plate armor, but its design of the armor and the weapons, it looks like it's from the Netherese Empire, which is a warring faction of, well, empire that was thousands of years old, quite long ago, that was warring with Cormyr for a long time, as well as the Dalelands. They actually helped Symbia fight Cormyr and the Dalelands. Though, you remember hearing that the Netherese, actually, a lot of their empire vanished as the 20, I guess that's pretty good. From what you remember reading and studying, was the Netherese vanished. Much of their empire vanished because they sent themselves into the Shadowfell, which is the plane of shadow, the Umbra. So this
Okay.
may very well be one of those lost Netherese empires. You do know that at one time one of the Netherese empires, the whole entire kingdom reappeared and attacked some locations here in Faerun.
Okay. Well, I'll continue. I'll see that, but I won't. I
Okay.
won't investigate further.
That's fine.
I'll just think to myself, whoa, it's very ancient. Some memories of that history reading it.
Okay. And then the group of you continue on into the next chamber, back through those rooms to the large hole in the floor that leads back the way you came. It takes some time, but the group of you hold your breath and find your way back out of this underwater cavernous area and in the pond. Zan, you can see Zan sitting on the log still at the back of the caravan, watching Livshana. He notes the group of you coming out the water. Was it worth it?
Yes
He
and
sees Corvin's chest kind of tore up, his shirt ripped, the blood staining the cloth.
Probably not. No, probably wasn't worth it.
Pockets a bit heavier.
Not really. No. We did find some old elven wine.
Okay.
And we found some areas that maybe someday we'll come back to when we have more time. But
So it's a place of note down there.
definitely a place to note.
I guess I'll
You have
remember that.
Do you have a map?
Zan smiles. No, I don't.
Do any of us have a map?
I was gonna say, do any of us have a map?
Does anybody have a map?
I don't
I
think
do
so.
not.
So, not yet.
We have
No.
no map. We've been traveling with no map.
Well, I know these areas where we
Well,
are working.
we know that we're west of Derloon.
Derloon.
We know that much.
I thought we were professionals.
We are professionals.
We have no map.
Well, we have
Nobody
Zan.
thought about grabbing a map, making a map,
No,
buying a map.
no map.
We're just traveling.
Yes.
We're following the road.
Well, there's signs too, right? Probably.
There are
like
signs on the
crossroads,
major roadways. Yeah.
major crossroads. We haven't been
And
lost
that looks
yet.
like how Zan does it. He sticks to the major roadways as best as he can.
Zan, would you mind just on this parchment here, maybe marking about where we were, like how many miles west we are of Deloon?
Well, I don't know how many miles, but it's been, what, almost 2 days travel.
Two
There
days
you go.
traveled along the main road, pond. I'm jotting all this down on a.
The big rock.
And then
There's a rock over there with names on it.
I'll also jot down the name of the society. What was it again?
The Netherese Empire?
Yeah, I'll be writing that down. Let me make sure you write that down, Cordell. I know you're taking good notes. Netherese
Yes.
Empire. Okay. So I'll jot down like Netherese Empire with a question mark and approximately where I think we are.
Okay.
And just tuck that away in my belongings.
Zan says, "We're about a day's travel also from Battle Rise. That's the next major location."
Maybe we can. Is that a city? Maybe we can get a map there.
Yeah, it's a small town. There's some ruins there from Cormyr. There was a fort or something there at one time. Some people tried to rebuild it, but they failed quite a few times, I believe. I don't know much about it beyond that. It's just beyond the Dark Flow.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I will remember this place. Perhaps the information will be useful for us. But for now, we should continue on. Zan, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. He gets up. You see Livshana is up. She's listening to everything you guys are saying. Taking
I will grab my armor and kind of lift it up towards Zan. Is this gonna be a problem, you think?
Not quite sure where the current checkpoint is, where the territories constantly change. I will assume it's probably at the Dark Flow, as it's a good defensive position between Cormyr and Symbia.
Does anybody have any paint? That'd be a weird thing to have, I guess, but
No.
Okay.
I mean, can Kaz change it magically?
Oh, he might be able to when we get close. I don't know, can he?
Does the sky self change what you're wearing?
Yeah, I believe so.
You can make yourself, including your clothing, armor, and weapons. You can't use disguise self though.
I can't. I will go to the pond.
Mhm.
Is it pretty muddy at the bank?
Yeah. It's
I
fairly
will
muddy.
take the armor, and kind of drag it through the mud.
Okay. You try
try
to
to
kick
get
it
it-
on there?
Try to get it as kicked on there as possible.
Okay.
Hopefully cover up some of the purple at least, and then perhaps when we get close, I may take it off. But for now,
You know, I
So
could
you're going to
just
travel with it muddy?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make
I-
a stealth check to try to, or yeah, probably stealth check would be good to try to hide that, or even, yeah, that'll work.
You know, Corvin, I was fixing up this plate armor earlier, and I still have scraps of the extra clothing I was wearing. I could just cover it
Oh, well,
with
I
the
mean,
scrap of clothes.
he's like sitting there, like holding it in the mud at this point. Like, could have said that sooner. Or would my cloak cover it? I have a cloak.
You could probably cover it with the cloak.
Oh, okay. Well, here, I'll just get it out. I'll kind of get the
Yeah,
mud
they
off.
can tell that you have bulky armor underneath
Yeah.
it.
As long as they
um,
don't see the purple, at least,
yeah.
maybe.
Anything's
I'll
possible.
cover
Many
it.
ways to do this without what you're doing. I mean,
Well,
He's just
you
over
could-
there, just pushing it in mud, kicking mud on top of it.
Well, perhaps at Battle Rise we buy a map, some paints.
Was that the
maybe-
armor that you made him awoke in?
No, this is
I-
the.
yeah, he found that.
This is
I
the
was fixing
purple-
my own armor.
the
I was
purple.
fixing up the
Also-
armor that I got
also-
from the ogre.
Who has the shield?
I have the
Yeah.
shield.
Yeah, you got
It does
the
take
awoken.
attunement, by the way, to use its special ability. You can use it as just +1, but the special ability does take attunement to the shield.
Okay. Would I have been able to attune
Yeah, that's fine.
the night before?
Okay. And Alokian, you don't want this armor to match your shield, do you?
No, I feel like at that point I might be subscribing to a false god.
Okay.
I mean, you're already carrying a shield with a purple dragon on it as well, so.
That can be fixed.
Is the purple dragon painted on, or is it like a metal piece?
It-
that's like
It's embroidered on, and the metal looks like it's purpled. Probably magically.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll put that armor on then, and try to get my cloak over it as best I can.
Okay.
For now.
All right. Are we ready? Zan says. as the horses are ready and
Yep.
prepared to go.
Indeed, we are.
Let's not find any more holes in ponds, he says, as
Mm,
he hits the reins and moves the horses along.
I mean, if we didn't, I wouldn't be wearing this. So, just saying.
My pocket's not any heavier, he says, as
They should be. We found gold.
well, share some with me then, he says.
Okay, I go over to Kaz and I say, "Hey, let's get the gold to everybody that we found last night." I pull out that gold, and I will give everyone 9 gold pieces and 19 silver pieces.
Make sure you
Nice.
note that on your character sheets.
And how many silver pieces?
19.
19. 19.
So 9 gold pieces, 19 silver pieces.
Gotcha.
You know, Zan, Belkin is paying 4 gold per 100 sticks. If you really need some cash.
You see Zan just raise an eyebrow and he stifles a laugh. Really? Is there a maximum amount of sticks you need, Belkin? He yells out behind.
About, I think 100.
Oh, that's it.
Yes, happy to take the reins if you want to collect sticks along the way.
Roll a persuasion check.
13.
I don't think I need 4 gold that bad, but I'll keep it in mind if I'm ever in a tight spot.
I'm sure the offer's always there.
And he pulls onto the way of the Manicore. A lot of the road still slightly muddy from all the rain, but it's starting to dry out. It does cake the wheels a bit and the hooves of the horses, but he continues on. The day's trek is long, but you've had quite a bit of refreshing spring water to heal your bones and clean yourselves with as you swam quite a bit that last night and this day. It only took you about an hour to do the entirety of what you've done beneath the surface of the earth, but you continue on, and a few hours pass before on the horizon you break through some of the forest here and more hills to the right, taller hills that meet the mountain range there. And up ahead you see what looks like a large crevice or valley, cliffside, that breaks the earth apart, and on the other side, about 60 or so feet, is another cliff face, as there's some sort of crevice or valley moving from north to south. On the road itself, you can see across that crevice is a very bright and shining bridge, metallic bridge that crosses that expanse, and it does have side rails that are about 5 feet high. It looks, well, from this distance you can't really tell, but it's probably about a couple miles ahead of you. You do see also on the other side, roll perception checks for anybody that's keeping an eye out.
Okay.
6.
4.
I rolled 2 ones, so 4.
On the other side of Alokian, on the other side of this this valley, you see a number of purple tents, large purple tents, kind of encamping on the other side, on either side of the road. You can't tell if there are people there. It's from this distance. It's too far.
Cover the armor before we cross this bridge.
Should I take it off or just cover it? Do you think?
To do something with it, make it not seen.
I'll cover it a little better and maybe kind of be holding it shut.
Okay. All right.
Best I can.
Kind of
I'll
tying your
put-
cloak shut.
I'll put the shield in the back of the covered caravan.
Okay.
Just maybe bury it under some stuff like some of Zan's sleeping gear or whatever.
Okay. There's also like a big cargo trunk on the top that you can put it in as well.
I'd rather hide it in his stuff if I could.
You can hide it in Zan's stuff.
Yeah.
In his. All right. Gonna try to get me in trouble then.
No, I just if they're going to search anything, they're going to search our cargo, not so much our sleeping gear. Put it in my sleeping gear. If I put it in the caravan, I don't care. It's-
No, I'm only kidding, Alokian.
Can we fit
It's
it
fine.
in the bag of holding?
You absolutely can.
Yes, put it in the
Do
bag
that.
of holding, of course. Why didn't I
Uh,
think of that?
I will go ahead and I'll take off my armor. No, never mind. I'll hold on.
As you begin to take off the armor, Zan says, "This is where Corvin gets cut again."
Yeah, it's starting to feel that way. I'll just leave it on and I'll kind of strap up,
Okay,
pull back on and cover it up real good.
got it. Go ahead and make me a stealth check to try to hide the armor underneath the
Oh,
cloak.
jeez. Stealth. I'm so good at that. Oh. Poop. Okay, here we go. Perfect. 4.
Okay,
Mhm.
you have it well hidden.
And I will
Great.
equip my previous shield, my regular just
Okay.
shield.
As the caravan continues on towards the bridge, you begin to see a number of armored and heavy armored individuals, as well as lightly armored individuals. A number of people with the lightly armored ones have like short swords and bows, purple tabards with a gold like oval circle embroidered on its chest with the purple dragon symbol, as well as any of the heavy armored individuals have the purple dragon shields, just like Alokian carries, as well as armor that Corvin also is currently carrying. You do see some of these individuals on horseback that are moving in and about this encampment. It definitely looks like a defensive position as you get closer. You see defensive barriers that are probably rather recently made, set up around the encampment, as well as just on the other side of the bridge, a makeshift kind of spiked wall facing. Excuse me one second. Facing your direction. Looks like they also have created some sort of checkpoint here for anyone that's entering Cormier. Zan does look back and say, "This looks like the place that they're going to be checking us. I have the papers, but I guess be on your P's and Q's."
Is act natural.
Corvin, what I'll do is I'll also allow you to do a deception check as you're trying to deceive these people in hiding your armor. Because I'm sure Alokian can point it out that you're not doing a really good job. So the group of you approach the bridge. Zan says, "All right, here we go." He obviously has his papers ready. He says, "Uncover the prisoner," as he's traveling.
Yep.
And you wrap up the canvas that's on either side of the cage. She's sitting up, looking around, trying to see if she can glean anything around the caravan as she's looking through the sides of the cage. And the group of you are hailed to stop as a number of these purple dragon knights move on the other side of their defensive position. And one calls out, "Business!" Zan says, "Bringing back a prisoner to Wayloon. We are a bounty hunting group by the name of the Grey Lantern Huntsman. Approach." Zan obviously stops the caravan and begins to walk across the bridge towards the group. The bridge is finally well made, very heavy duty, that is embedded on either side of this cliff face. Down below, you can see about 60, maybe 70 feet below, is a roaring and raging river that winds through this area that's in the canyon below. The water inside that river is inky black. Zan begins to speak with this group for a few moments, showing him papers. You see the man that stopped the group of you, that's in heavy armor helmet, is actually pulled aside. He's now hanging from his belt. Motion to a couple of the guards that are there. Those guards move forward and begin to approach your position. 4 of them in total. Well, good afternoon, one of them says as he approaches. "We need to inspect your caravan here."
Please. And I'll let them by. I'll be kind of up by maybe like rubbing the horses,
Okay.
putting them, keeping them calm as I can.
All right. They look in and around the caravan, open a couple of the compartments here and there, look into the large storage on top, examine the prisoner. She kind of glares at them menacingly as possible. And they just kind of chuckle. "Where'd you find her?" one of them says.
Nowhere good.
Well, at least she'll go back where she belongs, right?
Absolutely.
One of them, they all begin to leave. One of them kind of stops right next to you, Corvin. Tilts his head slightly. "And where are you from?"
Oh, a little bit of everywhere.
He just nods, and the group of them continue to leave. The 4 of them go back to the checkpoint, and talking to the guy that stopped the group of you, you see them discussing back and forth. Zan begins to say something. And you see that Zan, as well as the 4 that left just now, and the one that Zan had been talking to, begin to approach the group of you.
Mm-hmm.
Zan has eyebrows raised toward the group of you, and then he's kind of like does a slight shake of his head, and then lets out like a sigh as he approaches. I'm telling you, we found it. He found it beneath the ground in some kind of temple or something. Uh-huh. The other individual says. Hand it over. Where did you find this? And he motions to you, Corvin.
All right. First of all, he'll kind of open up his cloak now, knowing there's nothing to hide. We found this along with it, and he'll hand him the decree.
Okay. The scroll case?
Yep.
He takes it, quickly opens it, and looks inside.
At the bottom of a kind of a back of a cave.
Where?
Oh, I think it
He
was
puts it back in.
a little bit east of Derloon, I think. We were just stumbled upon it, I promise. No funny business here. Not looking to anger the purple dragon knight, you know.
Roll a deception check.
Come on. 20.
All right. East of Derloon.
Yes.
There's under what? Underground? He says temple.
There was a small pond kind of in the back of a cave, and we went underneath and then came up, and there's actually a creature that attacked our prisoner back there, dragged her into it. We chased the creature, killed the creature, and found it.
What did the creature look like?
I'll explain.
Okay.
Kind of what it looked like. I'm assuming this same creature that attacked our prisoner probably attacked your knight.
Why were you trying to hide the armor?
I mean, I think you probably can figure out why we were trying to hide the armor. It's very nice armor, and I'm not very particular to giving it up.
Was there anything else you found with it?
Nope. He kind of thinks. Other than the scroll case, no.
Park your caravan, Zan, with me.
Uh-oh.
And he begins to walk away. And he looks to the 4 individuals that are there. Stay with them. And they take their leave unless you wish to do anything else. You see Zan being led into the encampment.
I'm gonna kind of side eye Lokian, and then look towards the group.
As the 2 of them enter the encampment, you see a number of other armored and unarmored dragon knights begin to walk towards, well, not walk, rush towards the bridge on the and take positions around that checkpoint. But the other 4 stay with you.
So we're being watched?
Yes. You have 4 dragon knights right like 10 feet from you.
I'm gonna ask them, why all the security?
Roll persuasion check.
21.
Well, do you live in Cormier or just work for motioning to the caravan? The Grey Lantern, whatever?
Yes, we work from Cormier, yes. I haven't been there terribly long, so I don't know all the ins and outs of politics and...
Yeah, there's a lot of that apparently happening.
There's always a lot of that happening.
What of Symbia?
Say that again.
What of Symbia?
Is that where we're coming from?
Yes. Obviously, you traveled through there.
I mean, honestly, with the prisoner, we kept to ourselves pretty tightly. We weren't looking to make friends. We're just trying to get a job done.
And you said east of Daraloon you came from?
Yes. Right.
Well,
we came east of Daraloon. I know that's not where the pond was, but
no, you actually came north of Daraloon, hit Daraloon,
okay.
and then went west.
Okay. Well, then I'll change that to north of Daraloon.
Okay.
I just didn't want to tell them exactly where the pond was. I'm fine with it being north.
I'm fine with that too. Well, apparently, Symbia stirs again. Maybe wanting to expand their territory. Rumors of war. No, I don't know. I just do what I'm told.
Well, we saw no signs of that. At least as far as I could tell.
All right.
Corbin will kind of lean up against the caravan.
Okay. They just watch you. Does anyone actually move the caravan off the road?
Yes. Yeah, Corvin will do that.
I will I will gesture to be like, "Oh, I'll move the caravan. Don't worry."
Yep. Lo can get it done. Sorry, I didn't know.
All right. Lokian moves the caravan off the side of the road.
And as I tried, as I'm moving the caravan, can I try to grab the shield
But
from where?
Did we put it in the bag of holding?
We put it in the bag of
It's in
holding.
the bag
right?
of holding with Kaz.
Okay.
I'm not terribly worried about it.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Yeah, I'll move the. Never mind. I'll move the caravan regardless.
All right. You move the caravan to the side, off the road, away from the bridge, and you wait. And wait. And wait. It's probably about an hour or two before Zan finally, you can see him returning. Roll an insight check as he is returning. Anyone that's paying attention, anyway.
20.
14.
Corvin, you can't really tell. But Alokian, you can tell he's trying to hide it as best he can, but he looks deflated. And he returns and talks to the couple guards that are just standing guard there. They look tired and aggravated that they have to stand out here waiting for all this nonsense, just as aggravated as you guys.
Well, I also would have been preaching about Ilmater the entire time to these Dragon Knights.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check, and what do you tell them about Ilmater?
I would inform them who Ilmater is, assuming that they don't know. I won't ask them if they know. I'll just assume that they don't.
Okay.
And so I will go into full detail about Ilmater, who he is, what he represents, and to make sure that as they continue to work for the Purple Dragon Knights, to remember to not do any unnecessary suffering onto others, and to always help those in need. You said persuasion?
Yes, sir.
15.
Okay. The one that was talking earlier to Corvin after he convinced him of what was going on and to ask him about what's going on here speaks up. Well, if I need to... He begins to ask you a number of questions about Ilmater, about the suffering. He seems rather interested in what you have to share. So, is there a place of worship to Ilmater here around in Cormier?
Oh, I'm not positive. I come from Baldur's Gate, where I went to the Church of Ilmater, and I trained there. But I'm sure if you ask around, you might find another Church of Ilmater near here.
Does Ilmater have a obviously all the gods do, don't be stupid. What's his favorite weapon?
Kindness.
Huh. Kill him with kindness. Well,
Kill them with kindness. Yes.
I'm not sure I can do that, but I'll definitely make sure I won't let anything suffer.
Great. Then my job here is done.
And your name is Alokian, right?
Correct.
From Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, yes.
My name's Davian. I'm from
Davian.
Cormier, obviously. Still training to be a Dragon Knight, but it's been rough. And he's kind of talking to you off the side, not really like close to everybody else, unless you wish. Because he seems like when he wanted to ask you those questions, it was not too close to his companions. More private.
Yeah, that's fine. We can have the private conversation.
Is there a symbol or something that you have that I can buy from you? Or something I should carry to represent Ilmater?
Ilmater is more like in the heart, and well, I'll show him the symbol that I have of the amulet. He's represented by two hands bound by thorns, bleeding. You can remember this, and in your heart you will know that Ilmater is with you.
I've seen a lot of people suffering. And I feel like there's, especially if these rumors are true, there'll probably be a lot more.
There's been a great number of suffering, and there always will be. And it's up to people like us to do our part to help end it.
Yes.
I'm glad you reached out and talked to me today. I feel like I might have helped you discover yourself a little bit more.
I think so as well. Always felt like there was something missing. But I'd really like to... Do you have any more information where you found the armor? Because his family's probably suffering. We need to find his body.
Gosh darn it.
Can I roll an insight to see if he's trying
Yeah,
to
sure, go ahead.
leverage me?
Yeah.
16.
From the heart to heart that you've been having with him, he's asking these questions. Everything seems very sincere as far as his part goes. And he seems sincere to want to find the body to help the family. I mean, he should have a proper burial just like anyone else, not left some hole with some kind of creature. The corpse of the creature if you killed it.
You are right. The family should be at ease, and they should bury this body. It is, but it's about 2 days west travel of Daelun, along the main road. There's a pond.
Oh,
If you travel just a few hours from here, you will find this pond. Underneath the pond is a tunnel that leads underground into a cave where you will find his body.
Anything else that we need to worry about?
Deeper within the caves are creatures that you should not encounter. I am sparing you a painful death, or possibly worse. I beg you, retrieve the body and leave.
I'll see if the commander will let maybe a couple of us go.
Do not travel further into those caves.
What sort of creatures are in there?
Creatures you do not want to encounter, I promise.
Okay.
That is all the information I can give you.
Maybe I can convince the commander for us to just go scout out some of the Symbian line. They'll let us get a few of the guys to go, and you do a good deed for Ilmater.
Yes. And maybe you can help me out by getting us the hell out of here quicker.
Let me go see what I can do. But we're gonna need the armor.
I assumed such. You can take the armor, but we need to leave. We have a
understand.
prisoner to return. Do
You
what
know-
you can for me.
I'll see what I can do. Give me a moment. And
Yes.
everybody sees that individual rush off. About 20 minutes later, the commander returns with the individual that rushed off. The group, he says something to the group that's at the checkpoint, and many of them disperse. Trailing the commander, well, the individual that is with the commander has a sack over his shoulder and walks to the caravan with the commander. Zan is sitting there waiting for... Basically, what Zan is waiting for now is just confirmation to pass. Do you undoff the armor, Corvin?
I probably already would have.
Okay.
Just as kind of respecting them a little bit and assuming they're probably going to take it.
All right. The individual that's with the commander speaks up. Sir, if you don't mind, Yes, go ahead. And he walks forward, Davian walks forward, and sets down a heavy sack, and you hear the jangling of metal on the inside and the jingling of chain as he sets it in front of the group of you. Well, I know it's not in the emotions to the armor, but the commander allowed us to give the group of you a set of the backup plate that we have. It's not Dragonite, but yes, come on, get done with it. We have business. And he picks up the other plate armor. Thank you, and thank Ilmater, he says to you, Alokian. I hope this can help you. And the commander says, get your caravan and move along. And they begin to leave and move aside the barricades that are at that at the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
I'm sure you pick up the bag.
Yes. I kind of toss the armor to him. Thank you. Pleasure doing business with you, as always. And then I'll kind of grab the bag and throw it over my shoulder.
Okay. And Zan moves the caravan quickly as they're letting you pass. As you're going through the encampment, they look like they're setting up to be here for a while. There's a number of bonfires, cooking, campfires made. You see even temporary small structures that they're building, like lean-tos for smiths and forges, for repairs, sharpening weapons, making spears for the horse riders. Looks like they're staying here for a while at least. And you push on past the group, unless anyone wants to do anything in particular, past the encampment of the Purple Dragon Knights here on the Dark Flow. Inside of the sack that they've given you is just a normal set. It's not well made, of full plate armor, but you also see 6 smaller pouches, full with gold. 200 gold pieces in total as you begin to count them along your way towards Battle Rise.
200 total and all the pouches together.
Yep.
Well, they also gave us gold. And I will 6 bags. Kind of splits the other bags in the single bag into the rest of the bags, and I'll toss everybody a bag.
Okay.
Everyone gets 40 gold pieces.
Your travel was delayed quite a bit, as half the day you had to deal with the Purple Dragon Knights here on the Cormyrian line between Cormyr and Symbia. Night is a few hours off as you move past this encampment, but I think as you head west, we'll end tonight's session with that.
Good.
Okay.
Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you guys out there in the stream, and thank you for those that watch us later. Y'all have a good night.